Well, let's just start here by looking at the daily chart on SPY. What is this? Monday, November 4th. That was 4 days ago. That's our low. Our low was 567.89. Right there, 567.90. And since then, every single day we've gapped. This is Tuesday. Here's the gap to Wednesday. That, we'll call that, we'll give that a special name. We'll call it the Trump gap. Okay? Because that's what you have right there is a gap. Then it gaps again after Wednesday's move to yesterday and had a massive move yesterday. If you take a look at the daily chart, buying a call at the beginning of the day would have paid you. But when you break it down to the smaller time frame, which I'm going to show you in a minute, yesterday was actually not a great trading day for us SPX players. It just was choppy. There was no continuation. Had to have my sip of coffee. So let's drop this down and figure out what levels are important for us to look at. Clearly, we know a gap fill at 592. We know the 585.30 gap fill, right? Or the start of the gap at 585.50. Let's just call it the start of the Trump gap. The Trump gap ends at 576.71. That happened overnight. While everybody was watching TV and Rachel Maddow was crying, that's what happened. Let's drop down to the 2 hour. Let me take a look at some more tradable ideas here. First of all, this is the resistance area we were at for quite a while. We dropped back down underneath it. We were looking to get back through it. And we got through it. When did we get through it? We got through it on Wednesday, November 24th, starting at 3 a.m. when the market opened, pre-market. So by the time we got to, break it down to the 15-minute, by the time we got to the open on Wednesday, you can see what happened right here. Okay, we actually rolled over and came back down here. This is not an area that one would think would have been a tradable area unless you scan back and realized it was a retest trade of this spot right here. Okay, and I've talked about that over and over and over again about that being a retest trade. So 585.45 is part of the Trump gap fill. It's like halfway, 50% of the Trump gap fill. So we filled pre-market and after the open, and then it took off. But we had some pullbacks here. Tried to retest again, and then finally began its slow grinding, hard to trade climb all the way up to Wednesday's highs with a slight pullback afterwards. We know we had a gap here. Doesn't show up on the 15-minute chart, but it would on the daily if I went to it, which I already did, so there's no reason to do it again. And then bopped along this 592 area. That would be the area I'd love to see us pull back to today. A 595.40 area right now to 592. So patience, patience, patience. If you're not patient, you could play a bounce off the 594.66, which is pre-market lows. If you're a little more patient, you can look for this area down here. I actually took a trade yesterday down in here trying to catch a call. Pretty sure I stopped out. If I didn't stop out, I made a really minuscule amount of money because it just kept chopping back and forth. Finally did take off here at this 2 o'clock, 1:45 Central Time. So what am I looking for ideally today? 592, if we can get it. That would be ideal, right? It's a nice pullback, long. makes up for part of the gap fill. That would be the first place I'd be looking for. Second place I'd be looking for would be down around the 594 area, somewhere in that area. It's choppy in there though, so this is not an A plus setup. This is the first A plus setup that I see right here on the day. 592. That's the first A plus setup that I see. That's A plus, A plus, A plus for a call. Because I think we've got to give back some of this move. 5% in 4 days. We have to give some of that. If the market just decides, well, nope, we got a long way to go, and we're going to keep ripping, then you have two choices. You can play the breakout right there and take your profits as soon as you see a wick, or you can play the breakout and wait for the retest here, which is a much safer trade. Okay. For a lot of different reasons that we've talked about a million times in our Discord. So those are my trade ideas for the day. I'm using the SPY right now because it's a lot cleaner than the ES is. What is the ES doing here? Let's take a look at the daily on the ES. Look at this. Look at this week we've had. I think this is like a record week, right? For the S&P. Let's see what the NQ do this week. Trading View, a lot of times their technology is crap for contract switchovers, but it looks like it's pretty good there. Let's get rid of that arrow. That's a former retrade area that had up, but this is the daily from Tuesday straight on up. Let's break it down and see if there's a trading idea for your Q players. I don't play the Qs, so my apologies, but I figured I might as well take a look at it. So we're looking at all-time highs right here at 21.55. Is this the right contract? Nope, it isn't. Look at Trading View. They do this all the time. All the time. So make sure if you're using Trading View, you check your contracts. Let's switch to December. Yeah, that makes more sense. Here you go, straight up. Trading View. Whew, what a horrible, horrible technology. These guys are making a ton of money and they're not providing any service. So here's your all-time highs. Let's give that a red. Let's give that a red color since it's all-time highs. Let's give it a double width. If you're playing the Qs, this is the 1 hour. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. I'm not going to provide advice on the Qs. I don't play them. It's not my product. I like to specialize in products, but I would think 29.64. When is that? That's 3:15 a.m. Market opened here. 8:45. Pulled back. Nah, I'm not going to give you any ideas on this because it is not something that is. Let's look at this. They switched back again to the old contract, didn't they? On ES. As soon as you switch it over, as soon as you switch it back, they'll do it on you. It's 15 minutes. Let's go 1 hour. I'll switch the contract back to December. Horrible, 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 horrible technology. So that's why I like to use the SPY during the day. So what am I looking for? Here's my trade ideas. 592 break. If you want to just take a break and run with it, chase it, you can do that. Break and retest is the other one. I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but we are up 25+% on the year on the SPY. We've had a few pullbacks during the year. You can tell by taking a look at it on the daily, right? We had a pullback in, this is July, right there. We had a pullback in, that's July 23. So where's the beginning of the year? Where's the beginning of the year? Where's the beginning of the year? Beginning of the year, January 5th, 2024. Pullback there in April. Summer pullback in July. and then took off with a slight pullback starting in early September. Everybody thought this was going to be the September swoon that we usually get. We got a little bit of it, but not much. Um, so back to the 10-minute ideas once again on the day. Pay close attention, please. Right here. That's what I'm looking for. That's my ideal setup on the day, right there. Right there, okay? Let me put a big freaking arrow there so you see it. Right there is my idea for a long, if it does break there, you could catch a whole number stop at 590. Otherwise, it's probably 580, 545, making up half of that Trump gap right there. But this is my ideal setup. A+1 setup, in my opinion, for today on the day for SPX, 0 date expiration options. Enjoy your Friday.